Hey everybody, it's Dr. Jason Piken again. Welcome to another episode of the Digestion Diaries. Today I want to talk about a patient and a scenario that I see over and over again in my practice. And here comes in an integral part of what applied kinesiology is. Now, I haven't spoken much about applied kinesiology in the Digestion Diaries, so let me give you a little bit of a background. Kinesiology is the study of muscles and movement. Applied kinesiology is a technique that was created in the mid-1960s by a chiropractor, Dr. George Goodhart, who was a brilliant clinician, who discovered that if he could figure out a specific way to test how muscles function, and that was created by a physical therapist years before Janet Travell. So he learned how to test the function of certain muscles to find out if there's a malfunction, and if there is, then you can ask the body, this is a form of biofeedback. You can ask the body how to correct the imbalance in that muscle. Let me give you an example of this arm right here. So if I hold my arm like this and I try to push it back and there's some resistance, and I do this to a patient, or we don't do this on ourselves, but basically this is a test for the subscapularis muscle. It's a muscle underneath the shoulder blade, and it internally rotates. So to test it, we would put it in this position and the practitioner would try to push it up out of the way, and the person would resist. And if the resistance went well and the muscle stayed strong, no problem. If the practitioner was easily able to push that arm in this isolated position, so we don't do exercise, we don't use real life activities like this. So when we isolate a muscle, if the practitioner finds a weakness, he or she can then figure out what caused the problem. Because every single muscle in your body has a connection to a nerve, an acupuncture line, an organ, a group of nutrients. So by figuring out what the malfunction is, by knowing where the person's history is and how they live their life and what they're feeling, and doing these reflexes where you touch different reflexes for nerve, for lymphatics, for nutrition, for organ correlation in the body, you can get a lot of feedback on how to fix that person. So how the heck does this relate to digestion? Because this is the Digestion Diaries. Well, one common pattern that I see is a weakness in both quadricep muscles. So the quadricep muscles are just under your hip flexors and they're your thighs. I'll just stand up and show you right here, your thigh muscles, okay? So if they're the muscles that bend your knees, if we find a weakness as an applied kinesiology practitioner in both quadricep muscles, very often there is a correlation to small intestine malfunction. So here's a patient that came to me in her mid to late 20s, bilateral knee pain. She's been in physical therapy for months and not getting better. She exercises on a regular basis. She likes to exercise. She takes pretty good care of herself, but she just can't exercise anymore because it hurts too much. Now, if you tell me this about a 90-year-old lady, well, maybe I'm going to say, hey, let's see if we can do some rehab and physically make you stronger. But this girl's strong on her own. But when I tested her muscles, when I tested her quadricep muscles doing this applied kinesiology, they were both weak. And she didn't let me know that at first she had digestive issues. So what I found out in examining her knee, that they were both weak, as I asked her if she had digestive issues, and it comes to, play out that she does. She's had chronic bloating for many, many years, and this is the magic correlation. What happens is as we've been working on her, the way her knees have gotten better is somewhat through muscular therapies that we're doing. I work on the muscles physically by hand, and I adjust her because taking the pressure off of her nervous system also helps with the nerve connection to those quads. Both of these things she didn't have done in physical therapy. They were having her do these exercises which weren't helping. So the other addition that we had is we started shifting her diet. Now, this is somebody that doesn't want to make a major shift in her life. That's okay. We started with the simple stuff, gluten-free. And so gluten-free diet, working a little bit in the muscles like in physical therapy, and getting her adjusted. And there's very little to no knee pain anymore. She can feel a little bit if she does a deep, deep squat. and that's it. And better yet, I'm waiting to hear the feedback, but she really loves to run and she hasn't been able to. This is the first week I'm having her start to run again. It's only been about 6-7 weeks of care. And this person is going from many months of knee problems, no help from physical therapy, and progressing into healed knees, able to run again. Plus, as a side effect, her digestion is so much better. She doesn't have acid reflux that you used to have. She doesn't have any of the bloating she used to have. And so when you look at the body as a complex system, rather than just a knee pain or just a stomach problem, when you try to tie everything together, you get a lot further with people. So that's the diary today. If you know anybody with both knees hurting and bloating, well, maybe you think that you should send them to an applied kinesiology doctor. Hope that helps. Have a great day.